And there is our message. This meeting is being recorded. So good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Dave Yamamoto. Today is Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. And we will call this meeting to order, our community update, at 8:01 a.m. So before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to please mute your phones. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute yourself when called upon to speak. Again, pressing *6. It is very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. So I want to welcome everyone again to our weekly Tuesday morning community update. Let's do a commissioner's roll call. Commissioner Scar, are you with us?
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. And Commissioner Bell?
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. So all commissioners are here. I would go to item number 2, but I got a message from Eric Swanson last week that he would be unavailable this morning. So with that, we're going to jump right into the Coastal Caucus. I know Representative Gomberg is here. I see Representative Weber. I do not know about Senator Anderson or Senator Armitage. So Coastal Caucus, take it away.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I like the foggy mornings. You know, you can get a lot done in these foggy mornings. This has been a great week, and we have a lot during this week to look forward to also with the Tillamook County Fair. I have been at the Clatsop County Fair last week, and a couple of weeks before that I was at the Columbia County Fair. But I can tell you that there is nothing I look forward to more than the Tillamook County Fair. To be able to see people you probably haven't seen in a year, to look at all of the wonderful exhibits, enjoy the fair food. It's a great opportunity to be able to socialize in a safe environment because you're mostly outdoors. And so I would encourage anyone, even if you would like to volunteer. I believe that they are still taking volunteers for working at the fair. And you know, there are restaurants out there also that are in need of people to work at them. And it would, if you are so inclined, you can go out there, especially today, and sign up with one of the restaurants to be able to be employed. So, last week I talked about the National Night Out. That was a big success at Goodspeed Park. And I also wanted to remind you that Tillamook Working Lands is going to be having their movies on the 26th and the 27th. And you can go on their website and find out about it and get tickets. It's going to be in a farmer's field on a balmy evening in August, the 26th and 27th. It will be an interesting, a fun night. So think about that. This last week, I also had the opportunity to go to the Nestucca Valley Chamber meeting, and I always learn so much and meet so many interesting people at that meeting. They always have a program to educate their members on a monthly basis, and there's a very good attendance, and like I say, you get to meet some wonderful people. The other thing I got to do this past week was Oregon Business and Industry, OBI, sponsored a 15 stop tour throughout Oregon to look at chief industrial sites and innovation sites. And the two in this area, there was one in Newport also, but the two in this area were in Scappoose. And once again, there was a tour of the OMIC, the Oregon Manufacturing Innovation Center. And we got to meet the interns, high school and college. They're working there for the summer. And to see what other things they are doing in that wonderful, wonderful space. If you ever have an opportunity to learn more about OMIC, take that opportunity. The other one was Tillamook County Creamery, and you would think, oh, Tillamook County Creamery is just down the street here. Is it really necessary to go on a tour and find out about that? It was very necessary. The economic impact of Tillamook Creamery to our country is incredibly impactful, and to our farmers and to our community. And so it was really an interesting and wonderful opportunity to see the inner workings and to hear from the leadership about what is actually happening and the volume that they also produce, and how they are throughout the United States putting our name out there. Because, you know, Tillamook and the Oregon coast is not only just an Oregon impact on our world economy. It's far-reaching, and sometimes in our little community we forget how far-reaching the impact of our products that come out of our farms and what comes out of our forests and what comes out of the ocean are really we're really world leaders in a lot of those areas. I'm going to continue working on my committees this week, the disparities in housing and the educational workforce, with recruiting, retaining, and compensating teachers. And so in addition to providing food for the people who work in the office at the fair and the pari-mutuel, I will also be keeping my meeting schedule. So it's a busy, busy week. But as I said, go to the fair, enjoy yourself, meet your neighbors, and have a good time. So that concludes my report this morning.
Thank you, Representative Weber.
Indeed. Thank you, Representative Weber. This is David Gomberg from House District 10. Commissioners, I would say the biggest news coming out of Salem this week regards wildfire preparation across Oregon. And just a couple of weeks ago, I reported to you that the Department of Forestry had completed a statewide wildfire risk assessment map where you could go in and you could enter your address and you could see whether the state was listing your property as being at low risk, moderate risk, high risk, or extreme risk. And if you were in fact at extreme risk, they were going to come back and make recommendations on how you can improve your property, either by moving vegetation back from the house, dealing with your outbuildings, perhaps moving where you stack your firewood. And at the time I said that wildfires are a serious, serious concern. My goodness, 3,000 homes across Oregon lost in the fires of 2020. But that I expected that this approach was going to not be without controversy, because if the state was to come in and say your property is at extreme risk and you need to do this list of things to minimize your risk, people were going to be concerned about that. And they might be particularly concerned about how such a rating might affect their wildfire insurance expenses. So as anticipated, there has been a great deal of pushback from Oregonians to this plan. Thousands of people showing up at public meetings, thousands of letters, I think about 1,000 appeals of how properties were categorized. And I understand that there are about 1,700 voicemails at the Department of Forestry that have not been replied to yet. And I'm going to give the department a pass on this one because they're focused on fighting fires right now, and more so than on returning phone calls. But the bottom line is, in response to all of this feedback, the department has decided to push the reset button and withdraw this proposal for now and step back and take another look at it. So the proposals that were released 2 weeks ago, categorizing every property and putting some regulations in place on how to treat properties that are extreme risk, that has been withdrawn and is being reconsidered in response to the concerns that they've heard from Oregonians. But we also need to acknowledge that wildfire is an ongoing concern. that the damp spring has allowed our undergrowth to grow much more quickly and robustly. And now with the summer upon us, it's all drying out, and there are wildfires springing up across the state. I know that our local departments are dispatching personnel to assist with fires in other parts of Oregon right now, and I appreciate them doing that. I'm so very relieved that we haven't had to ask departments in other parts of the state to come here and assist us as they have in the past. So that's a big piece of news. I will share with all of you that that this past week my office sent out a series of mailers across the district. Each of our offices receives a budget that includes money that we can use for travel or we can use it for equipment. I like to use mine to communicate with the people that I represent. We usually send out 2 mailers each year. And in this one, I sent mailers out describing the money that we had brought back to different parts of the district for different kinds of infrastructure projects. And I took the kind of unusual step of sending a different letter to Lincoln City than I did to southern Tillamook County, and that was different than the one I sent to Toledo or to Newport or to Waldport, because I wanted to really focus on the local projects that Salem had worked to address. In southern Tillamook County, of course, that included the sewer lines from the port to the city that Representative Weber and I worked together on. It included the emergency egress in and out of Neskowin. I might mention also that we funded a career technical education center over in Sheridan and a new water system city, which is in Polk County, but still in my current legislative district. You know, Falls City is a great example where their wastewater system is failing. It's going to cost them about $3 million to fix it. And how does a town of 700 people come up with $3 million? Well, you know, you either charge every man, woman, and child $3,000, or you get help from someplace else, which is what we were able to do. And that makes an enormous difference, as you well understand. And speaking of things that you well understand, I'm going to say again, we put these mailers out. And commissioners, you know, there is nothing like going to the post office and looking in the recycling bin and seeing stacks of pictures of your own smiling face looking back at you. So I know that people took a look at those mailers and read them really briefly before they threw them away. In some cases, people took them home, but legislative offices are all making an effort to communicate with their constituents. I've got an interesting trip scheduled tomorrow. I'm heading for Corvallis to do a tour of the Wine Research Institute there. You know, with the redrawing of legislative districts, I will tell you that I seem to be trading Tillamook County for Benton and Lane counties, and I'm trading the cheese country for the wine country. So I'm going over to learn a little bit more about the wine industry and meet with some of the industry leaders there. Such as the process that we go through when all of our districts are changed and the lines are adjusted. So that's been going on. Finally, I just want to touch on something that I think is going to have a significant impact on all of us, and that is the legislation that's coming out of Washington, D.C. this week with major infrastructure investments that I think are going to be benefiting our ranchers, our farmers, people with small forestries, and anybody involved in renewable energy. So if you're thinking about putting a solar array on your rooftop, now would be the time to start looking at it, because there's going to be some significant financial benefits coming from the federal government and tax incentives if you choose to take that step. Lastly, Representative Weber touched on some of the work that she's doing on committees. I have been asked to chair a bipartisan group looking at rural economic development and what steps that we can take to improve, enhance, or expand the economies of our rural communities. And right now we're looking at everything from how we get more of our local seafood into our local restaurants. We're looking at how we can enhance outdoor recreation. We're even looking at how we can provide more meat processing for small farmers, so that they can change their beef into marketable products, rather than having to wait for somebody who's licensed to come out and do those inspections and make those changes. So there's a lot going on in our rural communities, particularly on the economic development front. So I just wanted to touch on the fact that we're getting all of that ready for the January legislative session. So move through a number of different topics there very quickly. I'll pause at this point, see if any of our senators are with us or if any of you commissioners have questions.
Thank you, Representative Gomberg. Any questions for anyone in our, well, I guess I should ask first of all, do we have Senator Anderson or Senator Armitage with us? Not this morning. So again, any questions for the Coastal Caucus?
Commissioner, if I may.
Yes, please.
Well, Representative Gomberg, I want to thank you for talking to us about the fire risk assessment program. We've heard from a lot of local folks their concerns about that system of risk assessment in fire, and so it's very helpful and informative to know that that's on hold for now. So thank you for talking about that. And I wanted also to thank Representative Weber for her service to the Tillamook County Fair. I'm the liaison to the fair, and I was there yesterday, and Representative Weber was there working very hard to feed people. So she and a group of volunteers from her church, I believe, they feed the fair staff, and they feed people at the pari-mutuel racing group, and they were working very hard, and they do it every year, and it's a labor of love, and I'm really grateful. So I just wanted to thank her for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Any other questions? Thank you all. So let's move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Center. Do we have Marlene Putman or Ed Colson with us?
Good morning, Commissioner. Ed Colson's here with the Health Department.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Tillamook County. So, in Tillamook County, our community level transmission is high. We have 50 cases and a test positivity rate of 0.7% recorded over the past 7 days from July 31st to August 6th. So, the Health Department just recommends following COVID-19 safety guidance to help reduce the spread of COVID-19. So if you're planning to attend a large gathering or event, it's highly recommended to follow these guidelines. Monitor yourself for signs and symptoms of illness, and do not attend an event or gathering if signs or symptoms appear. Use a COVID-19 home test kit to test yourself 72 to 48 hours prior to an event or gathering. Those home test kits remain available at your library branches and from the Tillamook County Public Health by request. If you do have a positive result, please stay home and begin isolation for at least 5 days and up to 14 following the CDC guidelines. You can wear a mask indoors in public and outdoors if the area is crowded and you're not able to have 6 feet space between each one. Use a COVID-19 home test kit 3 to 5 days after attending. And as always, please stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines. You're best protected from COVID-19 when you stay up to date on these recommended vaccines that everyone 6 months and older are eligible for, that initial vaccine series. And then everyone 5 years and older should get 1 booster after completion of the series, and those aged 50 and older and those immunocompromised should get 2 booster doses. Vaccines are available throughout the county, and they can be done at our health center by appointment, Safeway and Fred Meyer and Tillamook Pharmacy, and our partners at Adventist Health and Nehalem Bay Health Center. Please visit tillamookchc.org or call 503-842-3940 for more information. Now, additional precautions may be needed for people at high risk for severe illness, so please talk with your healthcare provider or contact the COVID-19 support line, and that's at 866-917-8881 for assistance. And then for further Tillamook County COVID-19 case data, it's available on our COVID-19 resource page at tillamookchc.org. Now, the Novavax COVID-19 vaccine is available at our health clinic starting last week. If you want that, you can give us a call at 503-842-3900 to make an appointment. And it's also available through Oregon Health Authority's high-volume vaccination clinics. Those are located throughout the state. There's one in Beaverton, one in Portland, and then one in Eugene. Now, supply is limited and the availability is not guaranteed upon arrival at those high-volume clinics. So please check OHA's Get Vaccinated Oregon site or call 211 to check locations in stock if you would like to receive the Novavax vaccine. Now, it's authorized for people 18 years old and older who have not yet received COVID-19 vaccines, and it is not authorized as a booster. Now, August 7th through the 13th of this year is National Health Center Week. It's a time to honor and celebrate the work being done at community health centers to advocate and provide comprehensive care at low or no cost for people of all ages and from all walks of life. Healthcare is a human right, and we are proud of our community health center here in Tillamook County. So with that, that's our update there. I'll turn it back over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate you being here. Any questions for Ed Colson? Thank you, Ed. Moving on to the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy, Gail Nelson. Gail, are you with us?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Today we opened the Nia County Student Health and Wellness Center to provide sports physicals to students who may need one to be eligible to participate in sports this year. We also, starting September 6th, will continue to provide counseling services there at the school. And at our main clinic here in Wheeler, we provide healthcare appointments Monday through Friday for primary medical care, and also have behavioral health providers both remotely and on site. We continue to provide COVID vaccines, including Moderna vaccines for 6 months to age 4 range, and Pfizer Children's for ages 5 through 11. And of course, we still provide doses and boosters for any adults who may need them. Please give us a call at 800-368-5182 to schedule. And last, our patient transportation service is still up and running. We're asking patients if they have transportation barriers to please give us a call if you need any assistance getting to and from your medical appointments. And those are my announcements for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, Gail. Any questions for Gail? Thank you so much. Move on to the Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Frank Hanna-Williams. Frank.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Frank Hanna-Williams, Director, Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. You can reach us for information about services and about appointments by calling 503-842-8201 or 1-800-962-2851. Want to, as we're getting poised to begin a number of activities for the month of September. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. We will be continuing our QPR series, Question, Persuade, and Refer, a series that a person can learn the skills that they need to in a relatively short period of time, and allowing for some interaction with other community members as well. The things that they may need to know in order to be helpful to someone who may be considering some harm to self. And it's a very simple, very evidence-based program that we have done since, actually, we were looking back on some of that yesterday. We've done that since September of 2020. And in taking a look at that information and data, we realized that we have trained in the QPR format 228 Tillamook County residents. And that is a very nice number, and we certainly would like to be able to look forward to providing that support for continue moving forward. So September 9th, between 10 and 11:30, we will be continuing to do that, provide that series. And if you are interested, have questions about QPR, please give us a call and ask for Janine Krongos, our prevention coordinator, and she'd be more than happy to talk with you about QPR and enroll you in the program. It is a service that is free, and you can get more information from her. The numbers again, 503-842-8201 or 1-800-962-2851. And I'll take questions if you have any.
Thank you, Frank. Any questions for Frank Hanna-Williams? Again, Frank, thank you for being here. Let's move on to the sheriff's office. Do we have Sheriff Brown with us?
Good morning, I am here.
Hey, good morning.
Just a couple of things. It's the busy summertime, and we've delivered the message multiple times about trying to drive safely and be patient. Remember that your destination isn't going anywhere, and being able to get there is very important, and interrupting that with a crash is obviously something that we want everybody to avoid. That message has been consistently delivered over the last, while, and just by comparison, this past weekend, the recreational accidents and motor vehicle accidents, that number that we responded to was 2. By comparison, the same weekend of last year, we had a total of 5. So that number has gone down a little bit over the weekend. Unfortunately, yesterday, deputies did respond to a crash on Cape Lookout Road. That crash was a fatality. That, of course, is sad, and it is an ongoing investigation, so I can't give out any more details to that fact. I'm certain that quite a few of the members of the public are aware of that, but it did happen yesterday, and it is a very sad thing, and we want to make sure that we avoid it. So we're going to continue to deliver the message of patience and understanding while you're driving, and just be safe. You want to make sure that you get to your destination and that you protect your family and you protect others that are on the road. Aside from that, we're working on getting ready for the fair, just like everybody. Of course, Tillamook County Fair is one of the best in the state. We all love it. Anybody that's been around here for any amount of time knows how big of a deal and how important and how much fun that the fair is. We've been working diligently to try to make sure that we have coverage for the fair. It's been a little bit of a struggle due to our short staffing, because we obviously can't short our normal patrols for the rest of the county, so we have to make sure that's covered. We do have a couple of city officers that will be helping us on one day, so we reached out to them, and very thankful for the great partnership that we have with our fellow police agencies, and very thankful that Tillamook City Police has a couple extra officers that are able to come out and help us cover. So you may be seeing some city police alongside of sheriff's deputies, and that, just like I said, speaks to the solid relationship that we have, and that gets us our coverage, or helps get our coverage that is needed. So other than that, we'll be floating around, and I'll be wearing both hats. As many know, I'm still on the fair board, as well as being the sheriff or your sheriff. So I'll be going back and forth between the two duties and wearing different hats. But by the end of Saturday, I'll be exhausted, but it'll be an enjoyable exhaustion. So look forward to seeing everybody there. And with that, I can take any questions.
Thanks so much, Sheriff. Appreciate you being here. Any questions for Sheriff Brown? Thank you again, Sheriff. Let's go to emergency management. Randy Thorpe. Randy.
Good morning, and happy Fair Week to everyone. This will be my first Tillamook Fair, so I'm kind of looking forward to experiencing what everybody says is one of the best experiences in the world. So I guess I'll take a few days off of work this week. Luckily, this past week, Tillamook County was able to escape that excessive heat that the other side of the mountain received, to where they were getting well over 100-degree temperatures in most of the areas. So it was really nice to be here and look at our thermometer when I was talking to people in Salem and Portland, and they're 100 plus, and we're still in the 70s. So we are very blessed that way. Only thing is that it did increase, I think, our visitors over the weekend escaping that heat. So, as Representative Gomberg mentioned, yes, we still need to be very vigilant and do what we can to reduce our risk of wildfires in our area. And luckily, when they did produce that map, most of Tillamook was not listed in any of the higher extreme areas. But again, like I say, that doesn't say we're not going to have wildfires. We just, again, need to be extremely vigilant, through the rest of this year. Right now, I'm pushing forward to update some of the county's emergency management plans, and specifically is the auxiliary communication plan. Most most of you probably don't know what that is, but it's the county's procedures in utilizing auxiliary communications, which is mainly our ham operators within the county, to assist us in countywide communications during time of disasters, when our normal routes could be disrupted, such as the cell phones, 911 communication, and the internet. So this is a very vital link to make sure that we continue good communications county-wide during any types of emergency. The other main plan is our overall emergency operation plan. And looking at it, we need to update it to reflect some current guidelines that were set forth by the state and FEMA over the last couple of years. And so I just need to go in and tweak that a little bit and make sure that we do meet those new guidelines that have been set forth going that route. So anyway, that's the end of my report, and I'll turn it back to Commissioner Yamamoto.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate you being here. Any questions for Randy Thorpe, Emergency Manager? Thanks for being with us. Let's go to the Board of Commissioners. Let's start with Commissioner Bell and tell us about the fair.
Good morning. I'd be glad to.
Good morning.
I think we have somebody unmuted. So the fair, we're so excited to be getting ready for the fair. The fair starts tomorrow on Wednesday, runs through Saturday. The hours are 10 to 10. It's a full fair. So, you know, if you live here, you know that the fair has been, we had less fair during COVID, and so now we're enjoying a full-blown fair with everything that everyone has come to love and expect about the fair. So please come out, and I heard from some people who are concerned about COVID. I know a few people who aren't coming to the fair because of COVID. As we heard from Ed Colson, the community transmission rate is high right now. COVID is moving in our community. And so I just urge people to make sure that you don't come to the fair if you're sick. Test yourself. We know COVID is moving in our community, and just please test yourself. Stay home if you're sick, and let's try to not spread COVID at the fair. And of course, people are welcome to wear masks. Some people, I've heard from people who said they're going to wear masks indoors and then not wear masks outdoors. You know, it's up to you. Masks are not required, but COVID is still moving around our community. And so, I just hope that we can all come to the fair and enjoy it and be safe and celebrate being together. I had the opportunity to go to an event in Garibaldi on Saturday night. The Garibaldi Portside Bistro had a music event with a couple bands, a local band with Scott Casey and the band Cloverdale, and food and fun axe throwing event. And it was just joyful to be outside with neighbors enjoying a social event and live music, and it made me realize how much I have missed that and how much a lot of people have missed just being together with our neighbors. So I'm really looking forward to the fair for that reason, and for the reasons Representative Weber talked about, because it's kind of like the living room of our community. You know, it's a place where we see people, as she said, that you see these people every year at the fair and look forward to it, and maybe don't see them otherwise. And I love that families take the week off and everybody comes to the fair, and it's just it's a special thing for our community, and something that I really value. And people are working so hard to get ready to welcome you tomorrow. I also wanted to mention that I had the chance to go on Friday to a really great event in South Tillamook County in Pacific City for TORDA, which is the Tillamook Off-Road Trail Alliance. It's a nonprofit group, and they are invested in making mountain biking trails available in Tillamook County. And it was just an outstanding event. At least 100 people came. It was at the Kiwanda Community Center, and the room was completely full, standing room only. They had It was a fundraiser. They had silent auction items, and there was a premiere of a documentary about mountain biking. And so they showed that documentary, and they talked about this outstanding project that TORDA is partnering with Nestucca Valley School District. And Misty Wharton, who's the superintendent of Nestucca Valley School District, got up and talked about this, and they have this fabulous plan that I was unaware of for building trails, biking trails on the new campus, the new K-8 Nestucca Valley school campus, and for a whole system of bike education and trail riding there at the school, and it was a terrific plan. Missy talked for a while about how she's applied for a grant for a bunch of bikes for kindergarten and first graders, and she showed the plans for the trails, and it was just outstanding. So before I went to the event, I knew about TORDA, but I did not know anything about the plan for bikes and bike trails at Nestucca Valley Elementary. So if you're interested in any of this, and also TORDA has some really, really awesome plans for biking in the forest, for mountain biking trails in the forest. And it speaks to my heart because I raised my son here in Tillamook County, and there really was no place safe to ride bikes. We just didn't really ride bikes because there was no place safe to ride bikes. And so I'm so grateful for this work. And it also was very exciting to be in a room full of largely younger families. There were lots of kids there, and there were people of all ages, but a lot of kids and a lot of younger families who really love living here, and they're looking for healthy outdoor recreation for themselves and their children, and they're talking about legacy projects that their grandchildren can enjoy. So it was very inspiring, and well done to TORDA for putting that on. And so if you're interested in that at all, you can look up TORDA. They have a Facebook page, they have a website. It's Tillamook Off-Road Trail Alliance, and I think the website is TORTA, TORTA MTB for MT Mountain B Bike, so TORTAMTB.com. And you could also just contact Misty Wharton at Nestucca Valley Elementary School, or Nestucca Valley School District, rather, if you wanted to talk to her about the biking plan for students and contribute to it. So that's my report for today, and we'll see you at the fair.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Appreciate that very much. Great report. Commissioner Scar.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I think the fair has been covered, so I will just say I will see you at the fair. Looking forward to that. I'm going to tag on quickly to the trail work that Commissioner Bell was talking about, but I'm going to talk about the Salmonberry Trail, which I think most people are familiar with at this point. It is the conversion of the old rail bed to a rail with trail in some places and a trail in others, and it will ultimately go from Tillamook all the way over to Banks. So it's quite a project, and it has been underway for many years with getting the groundwork laid for who owns it, who will maintain it, who are the partners, who are the players. And that has been under an intergovernmental agency called STIA. And in the last year, the Salmonberry Trail Foundation was formed. And this foundation is a private nonprofit fundraising arm of this trail. And I bring it up today because we have for the last year been working with a contractor, with John Paul Bowles, to get the work started on the trail. And he's done some great work for us. We have funding for a 2-mile stretch in Rockaway to be designed, and it is queued up to be applied for construction funding in the next year. So we are getting ready to really start ramping this up. And we have I've recently joined the board of the foundation, and we have just posted a job description for a full-time executive director. This will be the first full-time employee of the foundation, and is the beginning of what we hope will be a very accelerated phase of getting this trail going. And if you're interested, if you are someone who has some nonprofit experience and fundraising experience, that's what we're looking for. The job description is posted on both the Facebook page for the Salmonberry Trail and the website for the Salmonberry Trail. And if you're just curious, you can also reach out to me and I'd be happy to talk with you about it. But it is a really key and important position to really ramping this up. So just so you know, that is moving forward and we're very excited to accelerate the work. I had the opportunity to go out and talk with the Kiwanis Club this last week and do a presentation and share with them what's been happening in various committees and projects that I'm working on. And I would just like to let everyone know that as commissioners, we are available to come out and speak to groups that you may have that want to know, more about a specific project, or just at the Kiwanis, I just took free ranging questions, whatever people wanted to know. So if you are part of a group and you would like to have a commissioner, I am more than happy to come out and visit with you all and share information on what you most would like to know. So feel free to reach out to me through the commissioner's office if you would like to have a presentation or just like I said, a Q&A, because we really do want to get out in the community. We do want to let folks know what is happening with your county government, and we want to hear what your concerns are related to county government. I have spent, it feels like the last week, working a lot on looking to the future with the legislative session. And I know it probably seems like that legislative session is a long way out into the future, especially for Tillamook County as we look, and we seem to have all of our representative and senator positions up for election. So it seems like, how can we even begin to think about this? But we need to be thinking about this. The concepts for legislation are due, the first round of them, middle of September. So we are being encouraged by the Association of Oregon Counties to really look at what the needs are in our communities, what a legislative fix might do to help us. So I've been looking a lot at housing, and if there are legislative fixes that can make a difference for us to be able to get housing on the ground more rapidly. I think the Representative Weber is still with us. I have reached out to you, and I look forward to visiting with you, Suzanne, to talk about if we could get a concept in there for this first round. Looking at some just simple changes, we hope, to land use issues, and as well as there's been offered for larger cities around the ability to put duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes in residential zones that are typically single family, but those don't apply to us here in the county, and we'd like to see if we can get a simple fix in there to make that happen. So we are looking to the legislative session. We are looking for what we can do to accelerate housing here in Tillamook County. With that, I will just say again, I look forward to seeing you all at the fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Scar. Great report. So things are busy in Tillamook County. There's no doubt about that. Representative Weber mentioned the Pacific City Nestucca Valley Chamber meeting, which was last Tuesday, a week ago today. And it's great to have Representative Weber and Representative Gomberg both at these meetings. They bring a lot to these meetings. We get reports from them at the chamber meetings, and this was another great meeting. So we appreciate that very much. Representative Gomberg mentioned rural economic development, and I'll be very honest with you. I feel one of the best economic development tools a rural county can have, such as Tillamook County, is high-speed internet. And we are actually making some great progress on high-speed internet, not only for Tillamook County, but throughout the region. So last week, as a matter of fact, we had two representatives from Congressman Kurt Schrader's office. Scott Olson came in from Washington, D.C., and Jory Messner, our coastal rep for Congressman Schrader, was here also. And we had a great meeting with them. And Scott Olson in particular was here because we have the top two spots on Congressman Schrader, and they don't call them earmarks anymore, and I can't remember what they do call them now, but they're earmarks. So they have positioned Tillamook County with Congressman Schrader's top two positions. One of them, the first one is broadband. The second one is our communications system. So especially Scott Olson was here to really have a discussion about our plans for broadband, bringing fiber to the home, which is the ultimate goal. Again, a terrific economic development tool. And they were very impressed about where we are currently, especially with the Amazon cable coming through and Astound Broadband, our contractor, putting together a situation where we are going to be allowed to take off-ramps off of that cable, especially as it goes up Highway 6. Again, they're talking not only about providing some high-speed internet between Pacific City and Tillamook, but going up Highway 6, they plan on bringing high-speed internet to the Forestry Center there, to the prison camp, and they're currently in conversation with all three. Oh my goodness. That's the fire alarm, ladies and gentlemen, and in case you don't know what that is. And I have a bad feeling that we are going to have to evacuate the courthouse at this point. The fire alarm is something that we have to take very seriously. I know we do not have a drill scheduled for this morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize very much, but we are going to have to cease this call right now and evacuate the courthouse. Sorry about that.